Mediterranean, May 1954. A 21-gun salute for a new queen aboard the Royal Yacht Britannia. A demonstration of naval power, reminiscent of the origins of the British Empire. Warships of the line, guarding a sovereign queen, across the oceans she rules. Queen Elizabeth II is at the end of a grand tour of her empire. But Britain's power is under threat like never before. India, the greatest of all its imperial possessions, has gone. In death, Mahatma Gandhi has become a symbol of hope for all those seeking independence. His words prophesying the end of empire to come.
If India becomes free, the rest will follow.
There will be no peace for Great Britain in Palestine. We've been betrayed by Britain. Therefore, we wage war upon you.
Our independence is meaningless unless it is linked up with total repression of the African continent.
Kuala Lumpur, 1945, at the end of the Second World War. Defeated Japanese troops are still at liberty on the streets. September the 13th, General Yashuri Ishiguro formally surrenders all Japanese forces in Malaya to British General Ouvrey Roberts. The British Empire in the Far East is restored. Empire troops march in celebration. Among them, men of the Malayan People's Anti-Japanese Army, who have fought as part of the empire. But within 3 years, many of these soldiers will be involved in a bitter struggle against British forces in an attempted communist takeover of Malaya. The British Empire will become embroiled in the Cold War. Winston Churchill, 1946.
In a great number of countries, far from the Russian frontiers, the communist parties constitute a growing challenge to Christian civilization.
This is the permanent sentence. The emergency in Malaya has been going on for over 3.5 years. I asked Mrs. Lucy how she managed.
They don't deserve any mercy. They have committed such terrible atrocities. They are just like wild beasts.
A radio interview with Joan Lucy, the wife of a plantation owner at the height of the Malayan emergency. The European owners of the vitally important rubber industry are an obvious target for the communist terrorists.
I was quite envious of my husband when he shot one the other day. I could in some way repay the death of my friends by getting 1 or 2 in return.
As the authorities round up more and more suspected communist sympathizers, the rebels retreat deeper and deeper into the Malayan jungle. Bruce Leeming, a 19-year-old lieutenant with the Highland Light Infantry, on his first jungle mission, April 1953.
Patrolling and sleeping in the jungle. Torrential rain, swamps, leeches, mosquitoes, prickly heat all over our skins. We haven't stopped sweating since we left Aden. I dream constantly of frost and snow. Oh, to walk free in the kilt again, instead of this clinging, sodden, jungle green kit.
British military operations are under the command of the High Commissioner, General Sir Gerald Templar.
I'm doing my level best to get a move on with the helicopters. We can now get our men, including the SAS, into primary jungle without any landing zone at all. I am determined to cut off the dragon's head, which lives deep in the jungle, not just stick pins into his behind.
The British pioneer the use of helicopters in jungle warfare. Over 45,000 Empire troops are deployed. Templar's strategy is to isolate the rebels from the local population.
The natives hold the key to the deep jungle. Without native food, the terrorists can't survive. The answer is not more and more troops into the jungle, but winning the hearts and minds of the Malayan people.
A costly and drawn-out campaign over 9 years leads to British victory. By 1957, the communist revolt is effectively at an end. Over 6,500 communist rebels are dead. Government dead number almost 2,500, including more than 500 British troops. In the same year, Britain grants Malaya its independence. The leader of Malaya's Democratic Alliance and its first Prime Minister, Tunku Abdul Rahman.
Whether we look to the east or to the west, we will always be friends with Great Britain.
In just 12 years, following victory in the Second World War, Britain's empire in the Far East has all but gone. Palestine, 1936, the Holy Land for Jews, Christians, and Muslims. Palestine had been placed under British control after the First World War by a League of Nations mandate. In 1917, Foreign Minister Arthur Balfour had declared British sympathy with the idea of a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. Over the next 20 years, Jewish settlers pour into the country to escape discrimination elsewhere. David Ben-Gurion, a Jewish leader.
The Jewish problem was never as acute as in these days. The world is barred against us, and outside of Palestine, there is no hope to look forward to.
But Palestine has been an Arab land for centuries.
At present, there is the difficult question of the Arab tenant farmers and Bedouin. But by agreement with the Syrian government, it would be possible to transfer large numbers to northern Syria. The land there is cheap and plentiful.
The tide of refugees overwhelms the Palestinian Arabs as tens of thousands of Jews seek sanctuary in Palestine to escape persecution in Hitler's Germany.